Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be watching some support court with Judge Vonda B. Love me some Judge Vonda B. I just came across her channel a couple weeks ago. I think I've seen every one of her videos so far, but this one I saw for the first time the other day, and this man deserves to live in the trash. He's made for the trash. He gets to skip the streets and go straight to the trash. You'll see. You'll see. Okay? So let's just watch it, and you will agree by the time we're done. It's really bad. It's terrible.
You all may be seated. Okay. Is it Miss or Mrs. Campos?
Mrs.
Miss, okay. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, I'm bringing my son to court to see if I can get some assistance for his son, my grandson, Julian.
Okay, so we have a grandmother taking her son to court in order to get financial help for her grandson. Right off the rip, it's looking bad.
He's 6 years old. Juan and Julian's mom were together up until about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Had a good life, beautiful home. They were set. Then one day he comes to me. I've never talked to her since she left him. She abandoned him. She abandoned the whole family, including the grandson.
Beautiful.
So he comes and he says, look, she's gone and whatever. Okay, I just need some help with Julian because she left him too. Well, of course, I'm going to say yes. You know.
Okay, totally understandable. You need help. You can't do it alone. That's fine.
At that time,
Good grandma.
It was just me and my husband. So Julian had his grandpa, he had me, and
So at that time, they had a grandpa, a grandma, and a dad. 3 adults involved in this little 6-year-old Julian's life. Sounds great, right?
everything was fine. Well, last year, grandpa passed away.
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. And things have gotten tougher because of that. So to the point where I came out of retirement, I'm Ubering when Julian's at school, and his life hasn't changed at all. He's still literally in the house that he was in when they were a family. And he doesn't visit, like, Julian's like detached from him because it's been 3 years that he'll come around.
I do see
you
him.
know,
I do see him.
and
I'll get to you.
and
Okay.
he
Sorry,
comes
yeah.
around, but I don't get any financial support. I don't see that his life has changed at all. And
Okay, so I just want to break this down for you guys. This grandma, this woman, okay, her son has a son. She's got a grandbaby. The mom abandons the kid. That's already terrible, okay? So now she's helping out. Then her husband dies. And now she has to come out of retirement to help take care of her grandson, okay? You haven't heard it all, okay? Just wait.
we had to move out of the house that me and my husband shared. And unfortunately, in this big city, the best place I could find
She said the wrong
is
one.
literally a 1-bedroom. So thank goodness Julian's small right now. He can sleep on the sofa without too much discomfort. I have the bedroom. And so when he comes over and visits, of course he can't stay because there's no place for him to stay. These are his words. He can't stay. And Julian he's just like some man that comes over because he comes over so rarely. What really ticked me off was a little bit back ago, he went and bought Julian some clothes. He also bought himself some clothes. But what my grandson had told me was that if he could have some shoes like Juan. And I said, what do you mean? He got you some new shoes? No, he said, we went to the mall, we got his clothes, his shoes, and then he stopped at Walmart on the way home and got Julian stuff. I guess because it's cheaper. I get it. For Julian, he's getting Walmart from me, he's getting Walmart from him.
But Julian was with him.
He was literally with him, and he took him, and I thought they were gonna, you know, maybe things had changed with him, whatever.
If I could please explain, Your Honor.
You can
Okay.
after your mother is done.
Okay. Sorry, Mom.
And then since my husband's
Her son's life hasn't changed at all. So he's just over there chilling by himself, having fun, while his mother has lost her husband and is now raising her grandson by herself, alone. Her son came to her and said, "Mom, I can't do this alone," and then left her alone to do it. Trash.
But now it's serious that I can't even get him for a common cold without having to Uber almost 20. I mean, Uber doesn't pay anything, and my pension doesn't take care of it.
Okay, so let's move over to Mr. Compost.
Yes, please. Let's hear what Mr. Compost has to say. I know that's not his last name, but he is trash.
I'm not going to call you by your first name.
Okay.
Mr. Compost. Okay, so is it indeed a fact that you have been receiving child support from the mother of your son?
Yes, I have.
¿Ves? Que
Okay.
te dije.
And you didn't tell your mom?
No, I didn't feel the need to.
Okay, wait a minute. Is it true that your son, your 6-year-old, has been living with your mom for 3 years?
Off and on, not totally all 3 years, off and on. I do.
What do you mean by off and on? Like on the weekend when you pick him up,
Well,
or when you pick him up and go with?
I'm a promoter for a club, so I do need help, and I thought that was the agreement to go ahead and help me when I'm out of town, you know, and I'm not, as she says, I do have the house, but I'm really there, you know, and I do need help. He can't stay by himself in a house that big at 6 years old. I don't know. I know I couldn't, but.
Okay. Well, you'd agree with me that help means that you need to give her something, right?
And I do pay the health care, the $150. I do.
Oh yeah, the health care that you refused to tell her about that she had to pay out of pocket for. Yeah, that health care that you pay for. The Medicaid that you pay for. Yeah, you don't pay for Medicaid.
Wait a minute. So that's the missing link here. So you pay health insurance for your son already?
Yes, I pay the $150.
Why didn't you tell your mother that? Why haven't you given her a health insurance card? Why haven't you given her anything?
And why is he smiling? Why does he keep smiling? He keeps like having this look on his face like, "Oh, you caught me." Like, no! It's not cute. You're neglecting your son.
It's not fair.
It's not, but I paid for it. I thought that was, you know, all I needed to do from my side. I didn't realize I needed to tell my mom everything.
What do you? It's not serving Julian.
Wait a minute, Mr. Compost. Who takes him to the doctor?
Well, I haven't recently. You know,
Okay,
when she
so
helps
it's
me
fair
out.
to say that your mom probably does it, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't it logically follow that she needs an insurance card or the information?
Yes, and it's just that
So
I may
you're
have,
letting your mom take your son to the doctor, and they have to call you or
They don't
something
do that.
to verify his insurance.
Yeah, they don't call. She just pays out of pocket. I know. I understand, ma'am. Trust me, I get it. Vonda, I don't think she gets it yet. Tell her.
Your Honor, excuse me, they don't call him to verify. I didn't know this is this. Everything has come out of my
Out of her pocket.
pension or my Uber money.
Yes.
Tips or whatever.
Oh.
I had no idea until I tried to.
So she went to try to file to get this kid some insurance. And they said, "Oh yeah, he already has insurance through his father with us."
File for these services that they said that Julian was getting child support. And I have told him, hey, I mean, I've got my son's phone number. I have told him, hey, this kid doesn't feel well. This is going on. That's going on. Even for physical, for him to play the t-ball.
Out of pocket.
So you're
I
paying
can't right
out.
now.
She's literally paying
Yes.
out of pocket. But
I
your
don't know
son
why
is
it took her that
covered
long to
under
get it.
health
I don't
insurance.
know.
yes.
So your mom is not only taking care of your son's medical needs, she's taking care of his daily needs. And you don't want to help her?
I do want to help her, and I thought she had all the help she needed. When Papa passed away, he left quite a bit of money for her, and I thought,
Okay,
you know, it would
you
help.
just said keywords. He left quite a bit of money for her.
Yes.
Your
Not
son.
For your son.
Yes.
Not for you.
Yes, and she keeps talking about going to Uber and such, but that's a pretty nice ring on her finger she has there. Don't know how many
your
tips are
dad-
needed.
He did not just suggest that she should pawn her ring that her deceased husband gave to her to take care of his son, who he is getting child support for. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream.
Got me years ago. This is not something I bought in the
And why
last 3
does that
years.
matter?
Because she says she does Uber and such. I mean, if it's really that low,
Oh
wouldn't
my
she?
God, Mr. Compose. No.
Okay,
You
sorry, Your
obviously
Honor.
came here to waste my time. What kind of club promoter are you?
Well, I'm sure you've seen me around, probably.
No, I haven't. You don't look familiar at all. But you're looking real unfamiliar right now. I can't even tell this is your mother right now.
This is my mother.
Oh my God.
I can't tell.
She is not proud for you to be saying that right now. I promise.
You're not paying your mother. You're not helping your mother. She helped you. But I don't believe that she intended to help you for life. I don't believe she intended to raise your son. I mean, she raised you.
Yes.
She's a grandmother, for crying out loud.
Yes.
Your Honor, when my husband passed away, and since he lives alone in this big house, I told him we were going to have to move to a one-bedroom apartment, or we could come stay with him. I'd have my private room, Julian have his private room, and he would have.
Did he
his
say no?
private
Yeah,
room.
so what's the deal with that? You're okay with your mother in this one bedroom. Why can't she stay in the big house?
Well,
Inconvenience, he said. It would be very inconvenient.
How big is this house? How many
mixing up
bedrooms
my
we're
words.
talking?
Maybe 800 square feet most, maybe 2-bedroom, half closet. It's not
800
as big as
square
she
feet.
said. It's not as big as she's.
Who cares? They had to sell she had to sell her home to afford to take care of your son. And you won't let your mom and your son move in with you? Put him in the trash.
Saying it's
My apartment is 800 square feet.
You're describing a room in the house that's 800 square feet?
I may have my math wrong a little bit. It's not that big as she's saying. It's really not.
How big is this house? How many
It's
bedrooms?
in the nice houses in Plano, so you can imagine. It's not a. I mean, it's a nice house.
Okay.
Because him and Julian's mom both do this promoting thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
they can
But
do
she
it
just
from
took
everywhere.
off.
So they're
I no
yeah,
longer
but
see-
he was making good money like he makes. I don't know to the penny what he makes, but they were living very, very comfortably. And but he started this since Julian was born, the free babysitting. That a grandmother that loves her kids shouldn't have to be paid and this and that. I never asked him for a dime. I didn't need to. But since becoming a widow, it's become critical.
Okay. All right. Mr. Compose, how much money do you make a year?
48,000.
Really?
Yes.
Doubtful. Even Judge Vonda B said really.
You make $48,000 a year and you live in this big house in Plano
Well, then that's where all the
and
money.
club promoting?
That's where all the money goes to the house to make sure it's I have so many members
Plus
in
the
the
child
house.
support. They didn't give me the amount because I'm not on the case, right? But who knows how much she's paying.
How much do you receive in child support? Because if she makes that kind of money,
Wait how he says the amount. I already told you, but wait the way he says it.
Just a grand.
just a
See,
grand,
you know how much that would have
everybody
helped?
Just a grand, really. Just a grand. Just a grand. That's all. Just a grand.
does not receive just a grand.
Yeah.
Everybody don't receive that.
That's a fairly large child support payment. I know this because I watch her shows. That's a high one for one kid. That's high. That's very high. And he's just pocketing it all. Because it's only a grand, right? Just one.
Well, and that's why I paid for the 150.
How nice.
You came here to waste my time.
He did.
What is it? What is the amount? So you pay yourself $48,000. You pay yourself that, right?
No, it's from jobs that I try and.
How much is your rent, Mr. Compose, or do you pay a mortgage?
No, the rent a month is about a grand 500.
Okay, so
Only a
$1,500
grand.
in rent. What your other expenses look
Your
like?
Honor, he doesn't rent. They did a big, huge housewarming party. That is his home. Him and her bought that home. It's not a rent.
So you
The lies just don't stop coming. So he's not renting. He owns the home. Or he doesn't own it, but he's mortgaging the home.
really are wasting my time.
I am renting it. I'm not sure where she's getting that from.
They had a huge,
The lies.
And you know, as families talk, and we're gonna try to pay off the house early, and we're gonna try to even upgrade, but they didn't stay together.
So wait a minute, you closed on this house.
Oh yeah.
I may
Okay,
have
so you
fogged
own
up the
it.
details.
It is just so confusing. Those details get so foggy, don't they, in court, you know.
A little bit as you know, it was a heartbreaking. You know, I don't
So
want to
it's
go
a deed
into
in
it
that
as much
folder
as
over there. You have a deed.
a deed.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, but it's
Okay,
just
so you own the Miss Compose. You own the home. Do
It's-
not come in here and waste my time.
the details have just been foggy since.
You've been getting over on your mother. That's not gonna work on me, okay? I
Yeah.
was not born yesterday.
Okay.
All right. So let me tell you what we're going to do. We are going to have the child support that you received, that $1,000. We're going to send it over to your mom.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if there's any way we can.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not
He
finished.
got-
And I know you want to hear this.
Okay.
That's just mom's portion. You're going to pay too. So mom is going to be getting what? About, let's see, you said 40. Now I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to take your
Now I gotta pause her here because this is the only situation where it benefits the other person when somebody lies about how much money they make if they exaggerate it, you know, inflate it a bit. Guys will come on here and try to, you know, some of them who don't know, they'll say they make a whole bunch of money because some guys lie about that, you know. They'll come on and say they make a whole bunch of money, and if the judge wants to, they can just take your word for it, and then that's what they base what you pay off of. So that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna take his word for it. Hopefully he does make that much because he will be paying based off of that.
word for it at that $48,000. All right.
Okay.
And you said $150 in health insurance.
Yes.
All right. So your gross comes out to $3,900. That brings your net to $3,280.28. And how many children do you have?
Just the one.
Just how many?
Just the one.
Just the one child?
Yes, just do.
All right.
She said just how many?
All right. So 20% of that brings your child support to $656. And that's giving you credit for the health insurance.
Praise
So,
Jesus.
You have to continue paying that health insurance of
Total amount grandmother will get from mom and dad is $1,656. A grand from the mom who abandoned the poor little baby, and $656 from the dad. That's amazing. That will help her so much.
$150. Child support to grandma is going to be $656, as well as the reallocation of the $1,000 that you receive from mom going to grandmother. So grandmother's amount in child support monthly is $1,656, which $656 belongs to you. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
You're-
Grandma, did you
Comes
understand
from
what
him.
I
I
said?
did understand. He's the only one thinking that I'm a fool. Now I understand why he didn't tell me about that medical coverage, because he would have known that I knew enough. I retired from the state. He knew that I would have known enough. Well, if you've got insurance, the card's probably got the mom's name under, whoever it comes under for Julian. And I would have put two and two together and figured there's some child support following that too. But I just didn't think
She's right.
that he would sink that low. But I again didn't think he'd be taking Julian to Walmart after he goes mall shopping either.
Yeah, and what's that about, real quick?
Well,
real quick.
he's 6 years old. If I get him some 11s, he's gonna mess him up in a day or so.
Okay,
you
I
know?
said real quick. That was too long. That doesn't even make sense what you just said.
Okay.
You can wear 11s, but your son can't. Shame on you.
Okay, I agree with him here. I mean, I don't wear 11s. I don't wear any of those shoes. So I mean, I don't spend that kind of money on myself, but I can understand that, you know, people don't want to buy their kids really expensive clothes or shoes because they're going to grow out of them or mess them up. So, like, I get that. But I kind of feel like that's not the reason why the dad was doing it. I think he probably just wanted to save some of his money.
Do better, Mr. Compost.
Yes,
You know,
Your
I
Honor.
just noticed, I asked him for a confirmation necklace because Julian is fixing to make his first Holy Communion. And he's got that big, huge thing. I bet you it's not even fake, that necklace. And he said, oh, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't afford it. I can't, you know. And I knew that his mortgage was not $500 because I thought, well, then I should move to Plano to the big houses because apparently they're giving them away over there.
Right.
But with that money that you're saying that we're eligible for, we wouldn't have had to sell the home that me and your dad lived our whole lives in, that we raised you in. Had you just done that, I could still be in that home that I cherished so much. And you knew that I loved that home.
Well, if you
That is terrible. They wouldn't have had to sell their family home if he just wouldn't have lied to her. Oh my God. This is what I didn't watch the whole video before I decided to react to it because it's just so terrible. Like, it is terrible. Terrible. Like, this poor kid.
If you manage your money right, then maybe you still would have the
Mr.
home.
Compost. Shame on you.
I'm sorry.
Shame on you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. And I need this for my promoting this.
And
for
I
her
need
to
you to
mention.
do better. How about that?
Yes, Your
That's
Honor.
what I need you to do.
Yes,
I need
Your
you to
Honor.
do right by your mother.
He just told his mom that if she would have managed her money better, she wouldn't have had to sell the house. Oh.
I'm not here to counsel you or anything like that, but to hear that she had
I think
to
you
sell
should.
the family home, but that's kind of heartbreaking. That is. You can only imagine the memories that are gone, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I need you to do better. And until
He doesn't
then,
care.
I need you to keep working so your mom can get the $656, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything further,
No, ma'am.
Mrs. Compost? Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Whew, that was insane. That was intense. All right, so maybe you see why I was ready to throw this guy in the trash at the beginning of the video. That poor little kid. First, his mom abandons him. He gets to move in with his grandma and grandpa, who I'm sure he adores. His grandpa dies, and his dad freaking holds his insurance and all the money to his name. And then they have to move out of the home that, you know, the Julian, the little kid, and his dad had grown up in, all because his dad wanted to keep money for himself, all the while making almost $50,000 a year. And, like, we're just gonna take his word for it that that's what he really makes. How greedy can you be? How freaking greedy? And then after he learns the information that if he wouldn't have lied, his mom would have been able to keep the family home, he immediately comes back with, well, you should have just managed your money better. Oh my God. Trash. Put him in the trash. Skip the trash. Launch him into outer space. Send him to Mars. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, we have to do better, just as parents. As parents. The mom, too. The mom just left the kid with this guy who, I mean, is not... She's worse than him. She just abandoned the baby. What? Stop having kids if you're not going to take care of them. Stop it. Stop it. Do better. Get some help. But anyways, that's it for this video. I have a really good idea for my next video, and I'm really excited to record it. So I wanted to get this one out so that I can react to my next one. So I will see you guys on that video. All right. Bye.